9th episode in our first series of the Sew Ab Fab podcast. I'm Aly and I run Bobbin's Sewing School, and my co-host is Caroline of the sewing business Sew Ab Fab. Hi Caroline.
Hi Aly. Hello everybody. So in our podcast, we introduce you to guests that are integral to home sewing or have connections to the sewing industry. Many of our guests have small to medium-sized sewing-related businesses and or provide necessary resources and products to help you as sewers.
Oh, that's Fab Caroline. Are you well today?
I'm good, thank you. Enjoying the sunshine. How are you?
I am too. So have you been busy this week?
I have been busy. I've been busy with classes and the preparation it takes, and also sewing samples for the upcoming kits, well, the future kits. So how about you?
Yeah, I've been busy too, but you've just had a kit launched, haven't you? So has that been good?
Yeah, I always love launch day. I get a little knot in my tummy to see if it's going to be something that people like. So when that first sale comes in, I do a little jig. Well, in truth, I do a little jig for all sales, but I do a very excited little jig for the first one.
That's good then.
I know. And the weather's been lovely, so it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, we sheared our sheep at the weekend. It was exciting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. Now I've got like wool everywhere. I've realized Hampshire isn't a woolly county. You know, this is new to us, and I suppose if you grow up in like Yorkshire or, you know, where there's lots of sheep, Wales, where there's lots of sheep, then it would be second nature what you do. But I've had to Google, I've had to go online, I've had to do like reading and research and all sorts, and it's quite convoluted. And so I say Hampshire's not woolly, it's winey. We've got vineyards growing all around it, so it's really nice, but I think I need some wine rather than wool right now.
So what have you been doing with your wool?
So I've washed some of it is, so they're all rare breeds.
So the fleeces.
All the fleeces. So I've taken the fleeces, and 3 of them have got really long wool, so I needed to wash those to be able to store them. And there's very few places you can get your wool processed on a small scale. They want like 10 kilos of wool of each variety, and at the moment I think I've got nearly 20 kilos, but they're different varieties.
Yeah.
So it has to be sorted. So I'm still deciding whether I'm going to keep it and store it and collect it, because you can collect it for, they say, up to 3 years before you get it processed. But I'd like to get it out. I mean, my husband would like me to get it out before then.
Yeah, he wants rid already.
I don't know. It's a learning curve. It's like, I love wool. Wool is my favorite fiber of all time, and I really want to do something special and something with it. It's just new, and I think when you do something new, any new hobby, you have to, it's a bit like sewing, isn't it? You can learn how to use a sewing machine, but then what do you want to do with it? Do you want to dressmake? Do you want to do, you know, mending? Do you want to do patchwork? Do you want to do embroidery? There's so many elements, and it's a bit like this with this fleece. I've got this huge amount of raw fleece.
It's whether you want to get some cloth woven, or you want to get it skeined and use it as knitting or crochet yarn.
Quite expensive too. I mean, obviously it's small scale, so it's going to be expensive to get it processed. But having said that, I want to get it processed, because as it stands, when it's taken off of the sheep, any fleece is worth nothing. It's like 50p. You'd get 50p if you threw it into the big bag of the wool for the wool, you know, whatever's. And I think that's such a shame, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful raw material
that we have access to.
We have,
and it, you know, it's environmentally friendly.
Absolutely.
It's so sad.
It is sad.
It's come to that. The farmers get no money for their fleeces.
Exactly. The farmers get no money. You know, 50p for a fleece that's cost them probably £2 to get sheared, that's cost them so much more to grow. And, you know, when you think about that is a fleece weighs around 2 kilos. How many balls of wool? Okay, you've got to take off 50%, but how many balls of lovely raw wool would you get from that? So the processing costs cost a lot. And I got my little calculator out, and I was like working it out and thinking, oh, this is a bit of an investment, but you know, it's got to be done. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. And
exciting. You have to keep us informed.
I know. And you know what I'm like, Caroline, you know, I'm only a one ball wool project knitter.
You are. So you could have enough yarn for life, Aly.
From one sheep.
Send it my way. I'll be quite happy to knit something or
I know. So yeah, so I mean, knitting is not my thing, is it? I mean, okay, I've got a cardigan on the go at the moment, and
it's been going on the go for a long time.
I have. It's not as long as some projects, but yeah. So I am a one ball person. Like 50 gram ball. I've got 20 kilos of the raw stuff in the shed.
Oh, Aly. Do you know what? You'll be amazed. This might just spur you on.
I hope so. Don't know.
Do you know, I look at knitting projects all the time, and because I love, I love to knit, but I don't always get the time. And I see so many beautiful projects at the moment, and I think, oh, if only. But then I think, Caroline, you've got 110 things on your plate right now.
I know.
Try concentrating on just one before you take on another. Have lots of work in progress. I have one sock missing its partner. I've got one mitten missing the other hand.
Oh well, if you lose,
I mean,
I'll be able to supply it.
Yeah, and a half a jumper front. So yes, so I think we all have those things that never get finished, but that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. So along with the wool in the shed, I've got a cane back chair that I've had for like 15 years that I've been promising is going to be recaned and reupholstered, and my husband looks at it every time we clear the shed out. He goes, "Can I burn it now?" And I'm like,
no. But do you remember, so when Aly came to visit me, we went to an auction.
Oh, yes.
When she first came up to visit me here in Rutland, and I had started to do upholstery, and so I was looking for my next project, and we were in this auction house, and I'd spotted a little what we later found out was a little cocktail chair, didn't we, Aly?
Oh yeah, lovely.
And I was like, oh, never been to an auction before, so what do we do anyway? We were so busy nattering that we nearly missed the lot. Anyway, when it came up, and he was just about to say not sold, and I pipe up going, I'll have it, no auction etiquette whatsoever. And I got it to Aly for £1.
I know, such bargains. Well, this chair that I've got, it was probably about that as well, you know.
I still got it, and it's in our garage, driving the family mad. Yeah. Do you think you'd want to get rid of it, take it to the No, that's my best bargain.
Absolutely. I love it.
That's it, Aly. You need to weave a piece of cloth so we can actually finish the chair.
What, your cocktail chair or my chair?
Yes. Well, both chairs. Yours
no. No, I have like bright aspirations for my chair.
Well, no, my chair, I'd be quite
but
happy.
The cocktail chair, you want
subtle.
something plush. You want something plush and velvety and very. There's some gorgeous, those printed velvets out there.
Oh, I know. I've got one sat here looking at me.
Okay.
I just don't have the time.
I know. What's wrong with us?
I know. We collect projects.
I know.
And chairs.
I know, and chairs. Along with sheep and chickens and everything else.
Yeah. I still got the Broody chicken, Aly. I think we're in week 6. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Oh my lordy, you're not the only one this year. There's a lot of broody hens that are staying broody.
That's not helping me.
No.
She lasted 20 minutes off the nest today.
Oh, that's progress.
Yeah, and I didn't get bitten, so that's even better. I am becoming a ninja in removing her from the nest. I know it sounds awful, but she's sleeping in the nesting box, so I take the nesting door off and I quickly put my hands in before she's had time to realize the door's off. But the only way to get this poor chicken out is to turn her on her side. So I do a quick death roll and I flip her up on her side and I remove her all in one motion. It is amazing what you can do when you're under pressure. And she's grunting at me. I mean, if she was a human, she'd be telling me where to go.
Oh, definitely.
And then I tip her back up 90 degrees so she's upright and plonk her on the floor, and she's still in a daze, in a stupor. It takes her about 3 minutes to come out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't get bitten anymore because I am so quick.
Good. They can be so vicious when they're broody. They can be really nasty.
I know, bless her.
Oh, no.
It can't be nice for her. I actually feel for her because I think she's just missing out on life, just sat in her nesting box.
She'll come through those hormones. I'm sure she will.
I'm not convinced. I think I've got it like this forever.
You know what'll happen? She'll go off the brood, and then one of the others will go on.
Don't say that. Honestly, I don't think I could do, because we haven't had any eggs for weeks. Because obviously she's not laying, and she gets to their eggs before I get up there. So when I arrive, they're pretty hard boiled, cooked, where she's sat on them.
I'm sure they'd be fine.
I can't risk it. So I give them to the little girl down the road. I can't give her semi-cooked egg.
Oh, bless. Oh, still, never mind. Anyway, we had such fun chatting to Emma and Tracey last week, didn't we?
We did.
It was great fun. So we are going to chat to them again today. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, ladies. How are you today, Tracey?
Yeah, I'm good.
And you, Emma?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm really good.
Can we pick up where we left off and find out a bit more about your podcast and what other things you get up to in life?
Okay. Yeah.
So we had a great time chatting last week about your quilting experiences, but are you happy to tell us more about your podcast and your aspirations for its future? Have you any thoughts on expanding?
We do flip, don't we, between wanting to build it into something bigger, or just leaving it as it is and letting it find its own level.
Because a lot of it, your content is knitting and your sewing. It's a little less of your quilting and your patchworking. I know you do all of those things, but it's quite interesting to see the other genres of crafting that you are involved in. And I know knitting is a big one for you, Tracey, and Emma, your dressmaking. You do quite a lot of your you bring a lot of your dressmaking projects to the table. So that's really nice. So so it's not just a podcast for quilters, it's a podcast for everyone, really.
No,
it's for everything. And I think for both of us, it's a case of the patchwork and the quilting side, are jobs as well now. The hobby has become the job sort of thing.
Yes.
And I think with regards to the podcast, it's nice for us to do the knitting and the dressmaking side of it, because that's more relaxed. That can be more relaxing sometimes. Than doing other things.
Yeah, it's always been an opportunity to share with whoever wants to watch what we've been making that month, really. So it's not like we're not using it as a mechanism to build a business. It's just an expression of our creativity over the past, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, more likely a month or 5 weeks.
That really comes across. It is your hobbies and what you're enjoying, and it does show. It does show that you're enjoying those things.
I think there's also an element there that both of us want to provide some degree of education, though, if we can, because I think that comes naturally because we both teach. I think. Yes. We do have occasionally we have a meeting and remind ourselves what we want the podcast to be, and then we forget about it very quickly.
And unfortunately, COVID's not helped with that, because as you know, the Zoom works very well, but it's not quite the same as meeting in person and being able to sit next to somebody and have a chat and show what you're making and what you've done and that sort of interaction. So,
you can't see colours and you can't feel the texture of something, and you can't examine in detail, that kind of thing. So podcasting is really interesting. I mean, from the point of view of sort of personal development and learning how to do iMovie type editing and understanding a little bit more about social platforms and that kind of thing, and how they work or how they don't work.
Yes.
Complete mystery.
Yeah. I haven't got a handle on that yet.
No.
To be honest, I don't think we ever will.
I think we're jack of all trades, master of none in that respect, aren't we?
I'm failing miserably at I can't even say the word, video editing and and putting together things like that. I find that very hard.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's good though? I mean, because I get a huge sense of achievement if I manage to do something, and I think, you know what, for an old girl, I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah, I think
and if it can keep the grey cells going, and
totally.
I think that's just marvelous. And we'll make a podcast, or we'll do something that's engage the grey cells, and then I'll go to the ladies that I teach, and they'll say, I don't know how you do that. That's really good that you do that. And you feel good. You feel good that you've achieved it, and and then they feel inspired by what you've done as well. So
if somebody had said to me 3 years ago that I'd be editing in iMovie and putting things up on YouTube, I would have laughed in their face.
I think a lot of us in our industry feel that actually. It just wasn't even thought of. I mean, I know it was there, but it never felt that it was going to be a necessity to us to be able to do these things.
I think technology is moving so quickly, isn't it? And that we're all trying to keep up with it. So because it's anything creative, it is so visual. So to be able to show that on a platform is really important. And it is, I never did any of this at school. I never even did computers at school. So it's all, it is hard to get to.
You didn't have computers when I went to school.
No.
No, I remember going into when I started in college, and there was a room, and it was where the modem was, and it was massive room, as big as my workshop, if not bigger, and it was full of this big metal thing, and at the time it was like scary. It was like, well, what is this that's working here?
It's incredible how life's moved on, hasn't it?
So how do you think sewing has enhanced your life?
Very often it's the thing that's kept me sane at the end of the day. As I mentioned, Martin was in the forces. He was away a lot, an awful lot, and I had 3 kids. Sometimes I was in a country where I didn't know anybody. I had no family. But for me, the sewing was the constant. It was always there for me. It was the one thing I knew I could do. And I mean, they say, don't they, that producing things, making things is really good for your mindset and your well-being. And it's true. I think it really does help if you produce something and you give it to somebody. That's that feeling when you hand it over and they receive it, and it's a very special feeling, I think.
I've for me, I think what sewing has brought is travel as well. I mean, obviously we're not traveling at the moment, but I would not have gone to the places that I have been had it not been for sewing, quilting in particular, but I mean, I've been all over the world. Same with you, Emma. You've been an awful lot of places, and I would never have dreamed that I'd have gone to the Middle East, for example. But I went to Kuwait to judge a show there, so that was phenomenal.
Wow!
So I managed to live with went to live with a Kuwaiti family for the time I was there. So I got to see a way of life I'd never seen, or thought I would see.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But also as well. I don't think I ever would have thought I would have travelled on my own to the Middle East, but I did. So I remember being very, very anxious about doing it, but coming back feeling, my goodness, I've actually, done something that I've pushed myself, moved the boundaries somewhat. So that's life enhancing in itself, isn't it? And I wouldn't have done that had it not been for a needle and thread.
There you are. Yeah, totally. So you are a family of crafters, because we know there are other members of your family that craft as well. But what about the next generation? Do you think that they might take it on themselves eventually?
Well, I before now I would have said no. Meg, I've got a daughter and 2 sons. She's never really shown much interest in sewing, you know, apart from sort of maybe messing around on the sewing machine. But I have to say, since lockdown, she's made bags, she's made pouches, she's started knitting.
Great.
And I mean, even she says herself, you know, she said, I find the knitting side of it very calming. I find if I get anxious at all about anything, if I sit and knit for a while, she said it just calms me down.
Brilliant.
And yeah, she's been amazing. She's really, really astounded me over this lockdown about how much she's taken it on board.
That wouldn't happen with my daughter, I'm afraid.
It may come, Tracey.
Yeah, I did say to her, I said, when you've got your own family, I said things will change. And so yesterday she said she'd gone to see a friend who was babysitting 2 7-year-olds, and she says, Mum, she says they were foul. She said, I don't want children. Oh, I've got 3 boys as well. They've all of them have made something, you know,
Brilliant.
At some point in their life, a cushion. And they all appreciate what crafting is all about. They do definitely appreciate it. And I've got an armchair quilter and an armchair knitter for a husband.
Oh wow. There you are.
He do it, but he definitely knows all about it. And he can tell you who's who.
Tells you how to do it.
And he's an absolute fan of various different Aly and Caroline in particular, which is their podcast. They're knitting podcasters, yeah. But no, I don't think they're at this point ready to pick up a pair of knitting needles or a sewing machine. But
oh, you never know. Next generation, even if it's down the boys' line.
yeah, my grandson's made a pillow with me, so he's done that. But
oh, lovely.
He just wants to sew at the speed of light. So.
Yeah, they do.
Have your boys done any, Aly, or not?
Sorry?
Have your boys done any?
Yes, so yes, out of necessity, Edward will mend things because he gets fed up with waiting. Yeah, he gets fed up with waiting for me to do it. It's like the cobbler's children.
Yeah.
And and my younger son Ollie, he's quite creative. He'll give me the things that he wants to be mended, but he will have a go at stab at making things. So especially for friends, he likes to make things for his friends, and so that's nice, you know, sort of Christmas time. He'll say, oh, what do I give this person or something. It's usually girls that he's making for, but you know,
try to impress them, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, he's just proving, you know, he's just showing himself off in a very beautiful light. No, he's very competent, and I should take that back. He likes doing it, and he finds that quite good for his general well-being as well. If he's feeling a little bit low, you know, we'll sit down together and he'll say, oh, I want to make a cushion or something. And I think it switches you off, and it's good for him in that respect. Yeah. But as I say, yes, I've got my elder, he does it out, puts buttons on, mends things out of necessity. Because I never get round to it.
Mending isn't sewing, you know that.
I'm with you on that.
And my husband gets so cross with the fact that his things get left right to the bottom of the pile. In fact, I have somebody that does a few alterations for me now and again, and I have to give her our stuff to do because I never get around to it myself.
And I understand that though. It's well, as you say, cobbler's children, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a repair to my husband's jacket. He got a leather jacket he wanted to repair. He wanted the sleeves turning up and various buttons putting on.
Yeah.
Which he'd been on at me for a long time to repair. But then again, I've been on to him to repair a light socket, or a plug socket rather, in my studio for the last 3 years. It's still on his list of things to do. I decided that I would do the jacket, but not tell him I'd done it, to see how long it'd take him to realise it had been done. So he's still to find it.
So what knitting or sewing plans do you have for this spring for yourself?
Well, you just finished a project, haven't you? I've just finished a jumper that
took me well over a year to finish, so I'm very relieved that one's over and done with. So at the moment, I'm knitting wise, I'm just doing some hats, and I'm going to do a couple of scarves, I think, just little things that, you know, easily achieved and quick finishes. And sewing wise, well, I've got countless projects on the go, waiting to be finished or waiting to be started. So there's never any shortage of things to do. So I don't think I'll get bored anytime soon.
What about you, Tracey?
I have just, I was just trying to look for the name of it to make sure I got the right nest. I think it's called the Benning Dress by Seamstar? I always get the name of the company. The Collect Patterns company.
Oh, we were talking about them.
Yes.
They've changed their names, have they? Is that this?
Is it Seamwork or Seamstar or something like that? Yeah, I can't remember now. I'm useless with names. It's one of my downfalls. I never remember anything. I know what I want to talk about, but I never remember. But anyway, I have just had a pattern printed, a PDF pattern printed, which arrived yesterday. So I'm feeling in the mood for making a spring dress.
Lovely.
Very nice. I think the pattern's called the Benning Dress. I think it's called that. So
have you got your fabric already, or are you hunting for that?
Well, yes, I've got some Liberty lawn, which I've had for the longest time, and I've been thinking, you know what it's like, you have fabric in waiting for the perfect project to come along, aren't you?
Yes.
And I saw this dress. It's one of their newest patterns, very plain sort of, you know, bodice top, but then it had a frill at the bottom, which I thought, I've never worn a dress like that for a very long time. I think I must have been 18 and 19 last time I wore a dress with a frill on the bottom. And I was thinking, could I get away with it? And I thought, do you know what? I honestly can't be bothered if I can or I can't. I like it. I'm going to do it.
It's nice. Those frills, those deep frills. Has it got like a deep frill on it?
Yeah.
Very in vogue, isn't it? Yeah.
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah. Very in vogue to have a deep frill.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we'll have a go at that, I think, and see how I get on.
Excellent. So have you, either of you, come across anything handy in the sewing room recently, or any handy tips or anything that you'd like to share with us that you might have come across?
I tell you what, I have, you might have seen especially with quilters, a lot of them have been using these wool ironing pads.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I've not gone down that route, but a friend gave me a piece of very, very thick felt.
Yes.
Which I have had on my ironing board whilst I've been pressing for seams and things like that. And I have to say, I think it does make quite a difference.
Interesting.
So I might consider investing in one. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, because I was looking at it yesterday thinking, shall I get one or not? And it's kind of like, do I really need it? But then this morning, for example, my ironing table up in the studio is I made myself from a 4 foot by 3 foot piece of MDF, which I covered. And I do like the very hard surface. I like the fact you get a lovely flat finish with a hard surface. But so I was a little bit thinking, do I need the felt on the top all day tie? But everyone's saying it works really well because of the steam aspect of it. But I don't tend to use a lot of steam when I'm making patchwork. I do if I'm sewing, but not when I'm patchwork.
Wool is lovely, isn't it? It's a great thing to work with as in construction, but it's also a really good thing as a sort of like a tool and aid, because it's natural. It allows you to, it holds the moisture and but doesn't stay wet. It's a clever thing. And we need to promote British wool as well, apparently. So we need to do it.
Are they made from British wool, do we know? Or?
I don't know. I doubt it, but
I don't know either.
But I'm sure you could buy a wool piece that is British wool and make it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I have done some wet felting before. It's quite a tedious job, but
Caroline, if we were in visual, you'd see her grimacing. It makes her cringe.
Wet wool.
Oh really? What, the smell of it, or?
Oh no, I can't touch it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think, yeah, just I've done dry felting quite happily and everything else, but wet is just, oh no. And I have to, if I come across it on a stand at a craft fair, I have to give it a really wide berth. And move on double quick time.
Is it the same with have you tried an embellishing machine for felting?
No, it's the same with wet tights.
Just wet things.
Just wet things.
Wet
Really weird.
You know, when you not opaque tights, you know, when I used to have my nanny do her washing on wash day. There was always one day a week and she did her washing, and she had one of those old spinning machines, and then we had to beat it, and she handed me all these old wet stockings, and that is it. That is it. I cannot do it. Anyway, I'm going to ask you a really random question now. So you both like baking. So what's your favourite cake recipes?
I can tell you what mine is straight away.
Go on.
The boy who baked chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
The ultimate chocolate chip cookie by the boy who bakes.
Very
The boy
nice.
who bakes. Okay, so is he one of your favourite favourite recipe producers?
I don't actually. I don't know his proper name, to be honest. But
It's Ed Kimber.
Ed Kimber, that's right. Yes, he won. Did he win the first British Bake Off, or one of the first ones?
Yeah,
quite early on, I think, wasn't it?
So
yeah.
I do like watching him. I think he presents cake making well. But Mary Berry is probably my favourite. I think I just love Mary Berry. So
yeah,
any of her cake recipes work as well. I've never had a failure with any of hers.
They are good, aren't they?
Yeah,
They
and she can make chocolate icing at least 10 different ways.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big Mary Berry fan. She does a beautiful double orange cake, which is one of our regular favourites. And the other one that I do very, very often is a Mrs. Post's lemon cake, which is from Paul Hollywood's baking book. And some of his recipes are really, really nice. So
sounds really nice. Mrs. Post.
Lorraine Pascal does a nice Bakewell tart. You don't see much of her these days, Lorraine Pascal, do you?
No.
But yeah, she has a nice bake book. And of course, we've got Nigella.
Oh yes,
Nigella. Yeah,
she's one of your favourites, isn't she, Ali?
She is. Yeah, I do like Nigella. I think, well, you know, if I said I like her, I'd say, yeah, David quite likes Nigella. He's happy to watch Nigella. Oh dear. So ladies, just finally, it's been lovely chatting to you, but I'd love to know, if you had a day that could be spent doing exactly as you wanted and where you wanted, what would you do and where would it be?
I think I'd like to be able to get up and do some yoga, and to come down into a clean, spotless kitchen, to be able to sit and read, perhaps do a bit of sewing, soup for lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe watch an old film in the afternoon, not have to cook tea. And get to watch whatever I want on the television in the evening.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What about you, Tracey? Have you got aspirations to be further afield than home?
Yeah, I think for me, my perfect days, I've had a few perfect days recently, I have to say. I'm in that stage in life where I don't have to worry about too many other people, so that's quite nice. And I do have a cooking fairy, but no cleaning fairy, so which is a bit of a pain, but still, there we go. But there's not that much to clean either, because there's not that many children in the house anymore. There's only the one, so that makes a big difference. But the weather's getting warmer now, and the sea is getting warmer. So I shall be down South Sea seafront.
Lovely. Do you wear a wetsuit, or
no, I didn't.
Just straight in, are you?
She's rock hard.
Wow.
I'm only a warm weather sea swimmer though. I only go sort of when the weather so it's end of April through to September, but 2 to 3 times a week. and early as the sun's coming up, kind of thing.
Lovely.
And that's absolutely glorious to do that. I really enjoy doing that. So then home. Well, actually, no, we sit on the beach for quite a while. Because my husband goes, he doesn't swim, but he sits and takes photographs, basically. So he has a morning sunrise normally on his Instagram page every day. But yeah, we'll have coffee and then we meet friends. So there's 3 or 4 of us there at least, having a cup of coffee after we've come out the cold sea. And sometimes I take bacon sandwiches if I'm feeling the mood early in the morning. So that can, you know, go straight through till maybe 10:30 or 11 o'clock even before we get home, depends. But then chill, sort of bit of gardening. I'm not a big gardener, but I do like to do a bit every now and again when the mood takes me. But sit and knit in the garden.
So it's going to be a fine, lovely day when you have your perfect day.
Yeah. I like taking knitting on the beach as well. That's nice too.
Thank you so much, Emma and Tracey. That has been such a great interview. We've had such a lot of giggles, such a lot of fun, and can't wait to catch up with you again soon, certainly in life and at the shows and rounded about, and we'll really look forward to that. So Caroline, our next guest is going to be...
It's going to be Sean from Darn It and Knit. Now, Darn It and Knit is very local to me. It's 5 minutes away in Oakham. It's a wonderful wool emporium, but it's an emporium with a difference. She is a master at clothing alterations. She has a lovely team of ladies that work alongside her. So we're asking her about that side of the business and how it works. So lots to look forward to in that episode.
Oh, that sounds really good. And you said that the Emporium is a lovely, colourful, wonderful place to go to. So it'd be nice to chat to her. Excellent. Yeah. So we've got literally 4 more episodes of this first series. And although we're busy planning our second series, we are looking for guest speakers, or guest interviewees. So if you know of anybody, or if you've enjoyed our podcast and think, oh, I'd like to share my experiences, then we'd be really happy to hear from you. If you have enjoyed our podcast and you'd like to hear more, then please do subscribe to soabfabpodcast.podbean.com. Follow the links. You can find us now on Apple, and it's lovely to chat to you. Take care. In the meantime, happy sewing.
Happy sewing.
Happy sewing. Bye. Bye.